Okay. So, oh, hi, Tux. You joined quite fast. I didn't see you. I have been offline for some time. It's going good, going good. I did some other stuff programming I had to finish for my production ready projects. Now there were no resting for me. Did you do some resting? Let's see. So now I'm trying to stream both to Twitch and YouTube. So not sure where to see my YouTube comments in case they come up. Um, Tabcam. Learning Java basics. That's good. That's good. We're gonna do some Java stuff here in this stream. So I already started creating like a mind map or whatever you call it. All those blue thingies are just the pages that gonna be displayed. But the application is not gonna display the pages. It's just gonna be API page. So it's gonna just provide some information for each page. So for example, for this first blue page, there's gonna be an action called create game and another action called join game. And if yeah, you can follow through here and see how it goes. Oh, what a fun knot. What did I just do? Pin something? Um, okay, never mind. Oh, probably misclicked something. Yep, at one point you'll have to learn those things. I had a colleague in my work where I had to uh, explain a little bit about when to use static and when not to use static. And yeah, not very um, intuitive when you start up first with the Java. Because when I started first, everything was static and it just worked perfect. Uh, so if you go for everything static, it works amazing. Uh, Everything just can talk to and public, static public. Everything can talk to everything. You just methods everywhere and everything can talk to each other. Feels like function programming or something. Yes, yes. But then you have to instantiate your classes and stuff like that, and that's a lot of boilerplate. So I still didn't find out where I see the YouTube comments if there are any. So it's not here. Okay. Yeah, yes, of course, final. So you cannot modify it. That makes sense. Yeah, of course. Well, one thing I have usually in all the classes that is public, private static final, that's the logger. All classes should have that to be able to log, and it does not have to be non-static because it's just one logger for per class. So I usually and final so that nobody will overwrite it anywhere and give it to me something else like malicious third party or something could try to do something else. So I always instantiate it here, and I know that I will never ever override it. It's always gonna be log is like reserved word in this. Um, hmm, let's see. So how where do I go to see what I'm um, um okay, I'll have to Google it, I guess. Cannot see. So YouTube streaming comments. So there should be some looks like an icon. Where to see YouTube stream comments live? Oops. I think you should not be able to hear that one. Okay, so there's an option like live chat. Okay, let's go out of the YouTube studio and go into youtube.com and all right. Um, so where is it? Comments, subtext there, intent. Hmm. Maybe there is no chat. That's the thing. So come on, come on. Let's try one more time. YouTube live chat home stream. Okay, okay, so let's see. I might need to restart the stream or something. Let's see. Oh, okay. So that's the thing somewhere. There it is. Okay. I need to learn exceptions and packages. Okay, cool. Yeah. Um, I think I already suggested for you, but I'll do it again. I suggest you that you start doing a project or something, and learning that way instead of just like reading up on it, unless you like it, unless you like read stuff first before you start hacking around. So I can show you one package thing I do, or package related thing I do every time I set up a new project. And this is a new project, so I think I already did it. But here we have a Micronaut project, and in my logback XML, I always say that everything that is in my package, also the listener, I wanted debug level of logging, and in root level means everything else logs in error level. So I don't want any info level logging at all in root, only in my application. So logging is let's see, I can try to comment it in here and do like, so the most lowest level, I think it's debug, then it's info, then it's warning, and then it's error. And then the last one is fatal stuff. And in somewhere in here is trace as well. I'm not sure if it's before debug or. So when you do the logging in your program, you just when you do the logging in your project, you just tell what level you want to log. You just say log level and what you want to put it out. So in here, I was logging everything in info. And here it's error. So that is the higher in hierarchy. So now if I log error here for root level, so it's going to log everything that has error or fatal. And here for debug, it will log everything. So for my package, everything that is in my package and com.listener, everything in there that has a logger, it will log in everything. And when I go into production, I still keep debug for a couple of days or weeks. And when everything is stabilized, then I probably will bump it just to info or to even to error. All right, so let's see what we're gonna do now. Yeah, the more you know, the dumber you feel. That's just how it is. The more I learn, the more I understand that I don't know. Okay. So what we did, we created our create API, and we did this join API. So we are missing join. So yeah. So to join a game, to create a game, you will just need to supply game name and game pass, and you create everything, and you will have an overview. And to join a game, you will need this one I kind of was not sure how to do, but let's do this way. Game name and game pass, you will get an ID, and then you can join that game. And once you join the game, you will have to pick your name. All right, so join will return to you a string that is API key. And it takes game name and game password. Basically just the same as here, name and password. And password can be nullable, can be blank. So you can join just by adding your name. That's okay. So let's go into our testing and see, yep, we are creating a game with test game and test password. And then we're making sure that everything is okay. And now we want to do another one. Response equals spec. Let's do given test name and test password. Let's call this one rename codec. Create response, and this one join response. Yeah, so we should get status 200 and we extract the response, and then we can also check that it's equals to length of 24. That is the encryption we are using. Join response. So let me see, do we get a status 200? Yes, so it gets okay, and here gets create. That's correct. So game service joins game. What does it do? It says, okay, let's find a game. If a game equals 0, we say game does not exist. If a game password does not exist, we say invalid password. And so they throw illegal argument exceptions. And if everything is okay, you will get an API key, and the player is going to be created for you. I'm not sure I should call this player. I should probably call it user. Maybe it's a better user. And then we can create a user class in our domain. User. So let's not do rec class, let's do record. And the user is gonna have a game name. So user belongs to a game name and it has a password. It's not a game password, or let's not call it password, let's call it API key. That's the API key that we identify in the user with. And do we want to create here for user? So user is just a connection to see which, when you join in a game, you get an ID and you get a user. Then you'll have to join through the sockets to get the game information and everything through WebSockets. And WebSockets can return all the information and I can return to your state. Saying what you're missing your name. When you create your name, you will get a player. Hmm. You know what? We don't do the user right now. I think that's the player is just enough. We can actually help this out a little bit by saying public static player. So it's going to be for game, and then we send in a string game name and string API key, and it's going to do this for us. It's going to fill out the name as empty as null. Let's do the name in the end because the first two parameters are the most important ones and the name is not. And we will probably add a little bit more context later, so it's for game. So this one will stay same. Let's see. So if we go back to our public control, no, this one. So instead of doing this, we can say player for game, then we send the game name, and then we don't need to send this or whatever any other, and just API. And we get the player, and player is going to be saved by save method. And save method, since we're doing this in memory, yeah. So each time a player comes by, he's going to supply us the API key. So API key is the thing that we're going to use to find who the player is. But once we have the player, we can also get all the other information that is in the player object, like a game name. Then we can find what game it is. We can find player's name once he selects it. Yes. So let's do it like this for now. So we have create game and join game. Game name is gonna be passed in. So we need game object that is public, that can be synchronized. That can be shown here. And same game info is being shown here. Is there anything we want to show here that we don't want to show here? I think it's just the same. At least for now, everybody can see the whole game information, so there is no the only thing I'm not sure if I did okay is just the game API key. I stored it inside. And the same thing here, I stored it inside the player. So those are the bad practices. I should have created a user class for that. Then I would have an admin user Yes, that would be much, much better. Scroll. So let's probably rename this one. It's not gonna be player repository. It's gonna be user repository, and players are gonna be. Oh, okay. Let's see what this rename variables. Yes, yes. Okay. Select all. Okay, so that's the user repository. That's my implementation. And let's do a user. Let's rename probably player to user. Select all. Okay. So let's see. User. Um, what was again the multi-select? This one, I think. No, nope. Yeah, that was Control Command G. Let's see. Users. User repository. Ah, of course, user. let's see. Okay. So, hello, Shane. What's up? So let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to design the Mafia game, um, multiplayer backend only right now. So the, I'm just in the beginning, trying to find out how those thingies are gonna talk to each other. So let's see. So when you join a game, you're gonna give it game name, game password. It's gonna call game service, join game. Let's go in there and say, okay, we have our game, we find it. If we did not find it, game does not exist, this is okay. If game does not have a password that is matching, valid password, and we create a secret key, and then let's not call it player, let's call it user, and we say user for a game. This chat window is so far away. There it is. Okay, never mind. And then we create a user with this API key user. We store it in our database. And what we need for a user to, we need a game name so we can connect the user to the game and API key. I should probably check that this API key does not exist from before. Otherwise it would be like just crashing. But let's do that. If okay, ChatGPT, that was not I wanted to do. Let's do while. That's more like it. So same thingy I should be doing in here as well. Let's see, while not user repository, game repository, game exists. We need the new key to make sure that we create unique key. This should never ever happen actually, but one in like 10 billion gazillions can happen. So and now a user can have, instead of a name, it can have a player object. That's one-to-one. And now we need a player. Not Kotlin, sorry. New Java class. Player. That's not a class. Sorry, record. We need a record. And player is gonna have string name, string role maybe. Can put a lot of stuff in there. But let's start with just simple this two thingies. So well, yeah. So since the API key is the main thingy, should be the first one to submit. And let's do the same thing here. Let's always submit the API key because that's the unique ID. Well, game is also a game name unique ID, but not for users. Okay, so far so good. Let's see, where would we call this method? We call it here. So here we need to make sure we send correct values. API key first and then name. Alrighty. So we have guys that can join this and this. So how can we make this like let's see. There we go. Take this one, make it smaller, make it green. This and we put it here and say, oh crap, it's not visible. This will help. Whatever. Just to illustrate that this parts are or should be okay. No, so this one is not yet okay. So let's do some more testing then. Yeah, so we should join the game. We should get an API key back. Let's run the test. Let's try to join a game with the wrong password then. Let's say spec given. Let's give no password at all. When I will post join, then status code 400. Let's do another test so we don't have to, or whatever, it runs instantly anyways. Yeah, so we got a 400. And if we make sure that it actually works, we can do with our HTTP. Join game. So let's do the join here. And yeah, let's just join by saying name. Let's spin up our application. Yeah, so application is running. We posted and we got back our API key, and then we can join it. Oh, it's not the name, it's a game name, of course. When you join, okay. So I created a game without a password and I tried to join without password, but that didn't work. Ooh. Let's see in our game service what we do. We say if game dot password. Okay, let me see. If game dot password equals null and password equals null, or so if game password equals zero, null, I mean, then and the password equals null, then it's okay. Not equals null. Wait a second. And okay, if the one is, and then we throw in valid password, right? But if game password equals null and password also equals null, hi, hi Bergboy, länge sedan sist, yes. Wait a second, nå är det lite märklig logik här. Vad är det som sker? Okay, so if game password equals null, no, we say if game password is not null and there we go. So if both are nulls, it will not go into this invalid password. Because if game password is null, you can send whatever password you want, you will still be able to join because it does not have a password. Makes sense. Okay, so let's redo this one. Let's actually I want to run this in Gradle run t. Sorry, slash. So basically I want it to run in continuous mode so I don't need to restart and do tests again and again. Okay, it's already in use. Sorry, need to stop my application. There we go. Okay, another thing I want to do, I want to get the info back into the, because I want this info message here running. Okay. So back to the testing. Let's do create it, and let's do the join game. And it worked. 200. Okay. This is amazing. It works. It works like Let's see. Huh. Okay. So what if I try to join a game test one? Okay, I got a 400 bad request. Game does not exist. If we take a look at the response, oh, game, it just basically says game does not exist as a text or as a JSON string. It's okay. I think for now I can customize this a little bit more. Um, so and let's create another game then. Test one. Password gonna be test one, and let's do a game password. Test two. Let's do that. Try to create a game. Yep, created a game, and now let's try to join a game. Invalid password. Woohoo! So far so good. Okay, so we are working. Let's do a commit. Holy moly. Yeah, that's not just a typo. We created basic what do you call it? Rest and points to create a game and join it. Right, let's push it as well. So we get it out of the way. And we have the test. And we could actually try to extract the response as a string as well and say that it has to be invalid password, right? Let's try to do this just for fun. For invalid bomb equal, and then we can say that equals this one. I could add, yeah, have it on here. Let's do let's run the test. I love how fast the tests are running, and those are, yeah. So I see the log in my from public controller coming, failed to join the game, and yeah, why it took almost half a second to run this, because Micronaut just ran a full complete server and did HTTP calls against those. against the server. So have a second. It's okay. Mhm. Let's see. Let's see. 1 hour more, so I'll be going to bed. We should have a timer, something. Timer. Oh, amazing. Google just did it. It's probably gonna phone play a sound for me once it's finished. Let's make it smaller. Let's see, a little bit smaller this way. So we put it right in here. So we can see it barely. Cool. Then we can see how much time there is left. Okay, so we have tested this one. Next thing we're gonna do, added invalid password test. Should probably use that for the game does not exist test as well. Let's do that. It's really quickly. So what do? We do game does not exist response. Okay, so let's join the game test 1, 2, 3, and let's run this test. It's gonna fail. And the message we get is join a game with name chooser failed, game does not exist. What? Oh, I'm testing the wrong thingy. Let's do again. Rerun the test, and now it failed and says expected invalid password, but was game does not exist. And that's what we actually expect. So let's rerun the test. And it passes. Everything is awesome. And I get printed out the debug. Love it. Added check for games that do not exist. Wait, push. Color ID. So what do we next? 56 minutes. What can we do next? So basically, when you create the game, well, this one is not correct because this does not exist in server side. This is only client side. So we'll be doing client side tomorrow maybe, uh, depending on how far we get on server. Um, a lot of people are putting stuff for sale in the internet. Just checking out. Okay. So yeah. So the idea is that when they join the game here, or I mean create the game here or join the game here, they will get an ID back or API key or whatever you call it. And this ID they can use when they join with the sockets. So they will be, I think I started with the, let me see, with the sockets. Or didn't I pick the sockets? Yeah, I did. So let's check out the sockets. Let's not come over the timer. No, do not cover timer. Let's see sockets. Blah blah blah. This is the JavaScript that we're gonna be doing later. This is the styling. We don't need it, and there is the server that we are interested in. Let's take a look at my previous projects where I did this. Let's see. Do we have this one? A new window to open in the wrong screen. Let's see. Move it over here. Please come here. There we go. Feels like this one has been moved away or something. There we go. So Okay, that was a simple implementation, I guess. Okay, so let's do that. Main Java. Let's for now just create in here web so server. Let's server WebSocket. Yeah, let's do that. Not sure if that's needed. Private static final logger log. Let's do this one. So we have a log, and so we'll need a broadcaster. Private final WebSocket broadcaster. Let's call it just broadcaster. That's it. So we're gonna have somebody saying open. Let's see, he just copied from my previous project. Fun. So we will need some session handling. And since we're doing everything in memory, let's just make a hash. Let's just make a map string. Get session. I think its ID is yes, the string, and we call it sessions. So actually, those sessions we could probably save into the no. I think they have to be in memory. I'm not sure. Let's do it like this for now. So we see a session, stop put session. Okay, so this is something that we return back. We probably want to design something like a message that we send back all the time, doesn't matter what, and the client can decide then what he wants to do with this message, like a contract or something. Let's do a string for now. I don't want to complicate it too much. Oh, so let's see. We don't have a publisher. Let me take a look. What diff do we have, publisher? Yeah, we do. Let's see which one it was here. Reactive streams. Mm. So this one is gonna be fired on open. So the problem is here that we do not return a string. Said that we're gonna do that, and we do not. So we could return a broadcaster for now. So, no, I think we need to return welcome to the server or something. And what's the problem? So we need to say session dot send, and then we send something. And let's send welcome to the server. And everybody else is gonna get a message, new user connected. I guess. We'll have to test that out. And then if we let's see what's wrong with this one. So right now we are not doing anything specific. Wait a second. Yeah, okay, that's good. So let's do this and then on next one I'll close. So if somebody closes, we remove it from the session. User disconnected. Yeah, whatever. We can try to send goodbye. It's already, but it's all, well, we can try. So what does it return? It returns the session that we are closing. Yeah, what should I do with that session? Nothing. Whatever. Um, let's just do this and not this. Okay, so we have on close as well. And so then we have, I don't think I will be able to last all 40 minutes. What? It stopped. Sorry. Please resume. Uh, let's. Can I edit it? No. I think I'll just do half an hour or something on message. Now, if we're gonna get a message from the client, what we wanna do? We wanna probably respond to that message and say something. Yeah, user said, so everybody knows. And this is for different channels. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see how they did it in the guide. So they said like okay, chat topic username, right? And then they say on open, get a topic, they get username, yeah, so they're using broadcaster to broadcast. Is valid. What does is valid? Username. So they did it by this method. So broadcast is taking another argument, and that is filter. Predicate. Okay. So what I think about is that I need to create a two two different WebSocket servers. One for administrators to use. So there is the difference here. When administrators join, they have this administrator panel, so they will be getting the same object probably, but they will have they will be getting same game info as they are getting, but they don't need to pick a name. They don't need to. And maybe controls should not be going through the, or should it? Why not? Doesn't matter where controls going. So all the, yeah, I think I'll sleep on this, figure out how to do this. But I think from here on, everything is going to be in WebSockets. And we can create a different WebSocket channels. So one channel is going to be just for admin to be able to adjust stuff. And that is going to be broadcasted to all the players through their channel. I can have one server and use like channels for that. And then once the game starts, everybody can go into the another channel again, maybe. We'll see how this works in front end. I think we have to do this in parallel a little bit to be able to figure out how it's easiest way to do this. Because right now I'm not binding into anything, just the default, but I could say that I have something like chat that goes into /chat. And if you join into /game, you will be able to. But then again, chat is also connected to the game. So I guess this one should be the game name. And then can I do that? And here I say game name. Just as easy as this. And now I everywhere have game name. So here it's going to be string game name on open, on close. It's going to be string game name, and even here it's going to be string game name. To make it even easier, I guess I could do an API key here, but is that secure? I don't think so. There should be some other authentication mechanism. Let's do Micronaut. Yeah, so I could use security rules there. Hmm. So this one is not secure at all. That's what I was talking about. Could just add it and um, even send it as a query parameter. Maybe if you're doing HTTPS, it's a little bit better, but you don't want to do that. You want to send it in a header probably. But we could use just the same technique here to find the token reader, get the request, get the headers, find our own header. So this one we'll be doing when we will be doing the test in the front end, and then we can see if they correspond. Okay. Oh, the game name is not a secret, so that's okay to put it here. And the API key, I guess I will be trying to get it from the session here. What does a session have? Session dot get. What can we get? Attributes. Version request parameter. The protocol Europe. I'll take a look at it later. See how we're doing on timer 27. Oh, I think this is enough for today. I'll sleep a little bit on and think about that. About this one. So what we want to do here actually is we want to keep an eye on all the session IDs, just like we're doing. But we also want to know which game or which player name it actually belongs to. Game is not that important actually because you find it through the player name. by using the user object that we created. And that's the API key. So the API key is much more important here for me than the game name. So if I would have an API key, I would probably put connection between a session and API key. Then I would probably be able to get the user using let's do the repositories, the package, because the package is getting crowded. Repositories and okay, those two refactor, those two refactor. So that's our domain. This is our repository. So user repository will have an what? Save, game exists, get game. User repository, save user exists, and then user get user by API key. And now we go here and oops, we need to implement that method. And we say return users get API. That's simple. So right now I'm implementing repository because I don't want to save it in database. I don't want to do database connections for this game for now. We'll look at it after we finish the security and everything. Maybe. Maybe it's just gonna be in memory. All right, so on message, what we want to do. There is something wrong. So on message, we're gonna be expecting to get a message here. And this game name, this was a cool idea in the start. But when I thought about it a little bit more, I figured out that it's not giving me anything. So let's see. And default value is VS. That's why I could just drop it for now. But I think I can drop this one as well, just like this. WebSockets error. And here, what's wrong with this? Make final. Okay, whatever. Can be final. Yeah, so just as we actually don't need the sessions. Yeah, we will need it later. We will need to be able to send messages just for given players. Maybe. This is just in case we want to pick one player that probably have not responded yet or have responded and send a message to him. Now I would like to try all this by creating a front end and starting using this and taking a look at what needs to be done. So if we take a look at message, we don't even need to get the session here. Because we're broadcasting, yes. We could even create our own domain object here to store instead of WebSocket session. We could store a little bit bigger. The thing is that if we go to the drawing board and we take a look at this, difficult to see it in here, but if we make this a little bit bigger, we can see that this one that can try to draw something. Yeah, let's just do some simple stuff. So this is the game object, right? So the game object is created and is gonna have the game is gonna have. Let's do a list of stuff that is gonna have. Oh, it's gonna have an admin, or let's call it API key, admin key. It's gonna have name, some game information, game path, and game info. This is one object. Now this, there is gonna be a user. There are gonna be several user objects. Okay, joining in. They all join one game, but there is also gonna be like a session. So if we pick it to it like this, so one user can have one session and then that session can crash and he rejoins, and yeah, then this one disappears and this one is going to be disconnected, but user still, so this session gets destroyed. This session is going to be still kept alive and is still pointing to the same user. So that's why we need different objects. And yeah, if we do the same here, the user is going to point to the game. So user has, each user has a game name. So actually user and player is the same. No, because if we're gonna think just a couple steps in front of us, user can be stored to database and can have a password and stuff, and then you can log in and do several games or play several games and be player in different games. So yeah, That's another thing is that we have a console that user can point to player, and there can also be like one user can be a player of several games, or could be the same game. Not sure if that is gonna be allowed. Or most likely it's gonna be for different games. So some are gonna be historical games. So this is probably the case for this user. So what we want to do is make a connection from session to user. That user is going to have a player attached to it. Player is going to have a key to the game. And user also connects to the game. So this is actually one-to-one. That's just an extension of so player does not have anything about game, does not know anything about game. Player is just something user has. It can be many or just one. And probably if it has many, they are historical games. The player has a player name. Player name, probably a role, probably um, actions and stuff like that. And still a user who is playing the game with that player object. That's something kind of in between. And when he played another game, the same user can have played another game, then it has to be through another player. I'm not sure how to do games yet. Should they be like game, one round? Or, and then you have to recreate new player, not new username, new player, and then play again one game? Something like that. See, only 12 minutes left. I think we end it here. And we'll probably continue tomorrow. Thank you for people who watched. And good night.